This is Marcus Kovac with Studio MMA, and we're here with the main event for Saturday night, co-main event, but still up there.
I appreciate that.
Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida. First question for you, how do you prepare for someone like Lyoto Machida?
You know, it's tricky, and a guy like Lyoto is probably one of the hardest guys. I would say John Jones and Lyoto are some of the hardest people to train for and find the right fit. But we did find that. We found a guy, Hiroshi Allen in Vegas, that came down, and we sparred with him week in and week out. And he's, with headgear on, you couldn't tell that it wasn't Machida. He had the same angles. He has a karate background. He's a karate world champion. So we saw those angles every day. I drilled him. My head coach does a good job of doing that too. He has a kind of a karate background, and he can emulate fighters pretty well. So I drilled with him. I sparred Hiroshi and got in great shape. And so I think seeing that in the gym and training camp is huge. So I'm not surprised they're in the octagon.
So you feel you've done everything there is to do, and you're comfortable with the style of karate now?
Yeah, I mean, there's different tricks and there's different stuff, but if I hadn't done that, I would be a little worried that I hadn't seen much of it, you know. But I would say this is actually, he's the hardest guy to train for, but it just happened to be that we had the perfect guy, and so it was a perfect emulation that I've ever had for an opponent. So it worked out well.
And you're from Las Vegas. This guy you said is from Nevada as well. Is it hard to find guys like that, or is it just kind of fluke that you?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, but we through our network of friends and all that. Jay Glazer is one of my buddies, and he said, "Hey, you gotta."
You know Jay?
Yeah.
Can't stand Jay. Okay.
Yeah. No, so we he said, "Hey, you gotta kind of look into this guy." Randy Couture used him a little bit for working with Machida when he fought him, and so he came down and we worked together first time. I was like, "Oh, it's a great fit, and we need you down here." So we flew him down, weekly or bi-weekly, and got it done.
Is he an MMA fighter himself, or is he learning wrestling now at this point?
He's a karate fighter, but yeah. So it was good. He's from that background, and he studied Machida because he was training Randy Couture for him or with him, and coming down and training me, to fight Lyoto. So he was studying his tape exclusively. So he had all his little tails, his tricks, and everything down.
The Olympics are going on. Wrestling. Is it something that you wish? Are you still watching it? Are you a fan of wrestling?
Yeah, I'm a fan of wrestling. I'll always be a fan. That's where I got everything from my fighting abilities to my work ethic, how to train. I think wrestling is one of the best sports in the world, and definitely be watching. For me, I don't think I was really on that level as far as I was a couple-time All-American and stuff, but you really got to dedicate your life to wrestling, after college to be even in the running for a shot, So those guys are studs, and I respect the hell out of them. But, for me, I was a little burnt out, and I got into MMA a little bit, and it was something that I could improve on different stuff. It wasn't just wrestling. It was, everything else, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, everything. So it just broke it up a little bit.
You trained a lot with Cain Velasquez as well, correct?
Well, he's up in he's at AKA in California.
No, I mean in wrestling.
Oh yeah, he was on our team. He was our heavyweight. So it was CB Dawley, who's in the UFC right now, is our 84-pounder. I was the 197. Cain Velasquez was our heavyweight, and Aaron Simpson, who fights in the UFC, also was our assistant coach. So 4 of us from that one team in the UFC. It's pretty crazy.
Did it start with you guys together in wrestling going, hey, maybe we should go into this direction, or was it something you just by fluke ended up doing all of it?
I get asked that question a lot as far as like how did that group of people from ASU, like, are you training MMA at ASU? Nothing like that at all. It was just we were all friends. We all talked about it. We all saw that we all had potential in it. We had other friends that were fighting at the time, and so it was kind of just like a natural thing. Is that we got out of college. We got some real jobs for a little bit, and then we realized we didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep being athletes, and so got back in the gym, and people were like, "Wow, you guys have some skills. You're very raw. You just have your wrestling, but you guys are tough. Why don't we, you give it a run at this?" And so I didn't want to have any regrets, so I was like, hey, I'm going to try it out. Here we are now.
The run is pretty decent so far, right?
Yeah, I've been having fun. I get to train all day long. I get to go to big fights, fighting these on Fox in a co-main event, title shot implications. Afterwards, I don't have to check in with anybody. I can go to the beach down here after my fight and hang out for however long I want. So that's a cool thing about this job is the freedom, and really it's what you put in is what you're going to get out.
Come Saturday night, you beat Lyoto Machida. Dana White said do impressively, you're next in line. Who would you rather face, Dan Henderson or John Jones again?
You know, it doesn't matter to me. You know, obviously I have a loss to John Jones. I'd like to redeem that. And at the same time, I've watched a lot of these guys like Dan Henderson, Rampage, you know, Tito, all these guys when I was younger fight, and I was a fan of theirs. And so to be able to fight a guy like Dan Henderson and just add another huge marquee name on my resume would be cool too. So it really doesn't matter to me.
And talk about marquee names. You fought, in that case, one of your idols when you were younger, Tito Ortiz. Yeah. What's it like to step into against someone that you've been watching and you're like, wow, I want to be like him, and then you're in front of him going, I want to be like me, not like him?
You know, it's kind of a little weird, but at that moment in time in that training camp, I don't look at him as Tito Ortiz or Rampage or, you know, Jardine at the time too. You know, I just look at it as another guy across the cage for me. And you know, later on, I could look at my resume and look at my win column and see guys like Rampage, Jardine, Nogueira, and stuff like that, and be like, wow, man, I really had to fight the best of the best, you know. But now's not the time. Now I'm in the mix of it. I'm just fighting another guy across the cage that's trying to win on that particular night, and so am I. So
to any young kids that are growing up right now that might potentially in the future face Ryan Bader, what do you want to tell them?
Sit on the couch, eat chips, play video games. Don't advance your skill set. And just let me beat you up when you get a little older. No, these kids that are coming up now are crazy. They're excellent in all the disciplines. It's going to be scary when those guys get up.
Agreed. Saturday night here at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, co-main/main event with Ryan Bader versus Lyoto Machida. Make sure you watch it.
Oh my God. Programmet presenteras av betsafe.com.